Hello, welcome to my practice, my exercise today. I will shadow the CEO of Nvidia.
Nvidia. Nvidia.
Nvidia. Okay, let's start. I think one of my rating advantage. Sorry.
I think one of my great advantages is that I have very low expectations.
I think one of my rating advantage is that I have very creative low.
And I mean that. Most of the Stanford graduates have very high expectations.
Very low expectations, and I mean that most of Stanford graduates have very high
You deserve to have high expectations because you came from a great.
and I mean that most of Stanford graduates have very
Expectations.
high
You deserve to have high expectations because you came from a great school.
You deserve to have a high expectation because
You deserve to have high expectations because you came from a great school. You were very successful. You're at the top of your class.
you come from right school. You were very successful. You top of your class.
Obviously, you were able to pay for tuition, and then you're graduating from one class. Obviously, you were able to pay.
Obviously, you were able to pay for tuition, and then you graduate.
Pay for tuition, and then you're graduating from one of the finest institutions on the planet. You're surrounded by other.
From one year of the fitness situations of the planet, you surrounded by other
Kids that are just incredible.
kids that was inevitable. You should have to very naturally have.
You naturally have very high expectations. People with very high expectations have
Very high expectation. People with very high expectation have very
low resilience.
Resilient.
And unfortunately, resilience matters in
And unfortunately, resilience matters
success. I don't know how to teach it to you except for I hope suffering happens to you. I don't know how to.
I don't know how to use except for I have suffering happens.
Teach it to you except for I hope suffering happens to you. And I was fortunate that I grew up with my parents providing. And I was
fortunate that I grew up with my parents.
Fortunate that I grew up with my parents providing a condition for us to be successful.
Providing a condition for us to be successful on the hand, but
on the one hand, but there were plenty of opportunities for setbacks and suffering.
very plenty for opportunities for setbacks and suffering
And to this day, I use the phrase
to these days I use the phrase pain suffering inside our
pain and
company.
suffering inside our company with great glee. And the reason, and I mean that, boy, this is going to cause a lot of pain. Company with great glee.
Regularly, and the reason I mean that boy is going to cause a lot of.
And the reason, and I mean that, boy, this is going to cause a lot of pain and suffering. And I mean that in a happy way because.
Pain, suffering, and I mean that in a happy way because you want to train.
You want to train. You want to refine the character.
When to refine the character
Of your company.
You
want greatness out of them. And greatness is not intelligence. Greatness comes from character, and character is informed out of smart people. It's formed.
Character isn't formed out of smart people. Isn't formed
out of people who suffered. And so that's it.
People who suffer.
And so if I could wish upon you, I don't
That's the end. So if you could wish
know how to do it. For all of you Stanford students,
you know how to do it for all you Stanford students. I
wish upon you ample doses of pain and
of pain of suffering.
One of my one of
I think one of my great advantages is that I have very low expectation, and I mean that most of them for graduates very high expectation, and you deserve to have expectation because you came from a rich school, you very successful, you on the top of your last, honestly you be able to come, you able to you're able to pay to each tuition, and you graduating from one of the Finnish institutions on the planet, you surrounded by other kids and just individual, you shoot very high naturally, the expectation people very high expectation very low. Resilience, and unfortunately resilience matter in success. I don't know how to teach you expect for help you suffering happens to you, and I was fortunate that I grew up with my parents providing a condition for us to be success on the hand, but to very plenty of opportunities and setbacks and suffering, and to this day I use the word the phrase pain and suffering inside our community with right release. And the reason I mean that the boy this is going to cause of pain of suffering, I mean that in happy way because you want to train you, I want to train you, refine the character of your company, you want redness red out of them, and redness is not intelligent, redness come from character, and character is a form of smart people, a form out of people who suffer. And that's all. If you could so if I could with you upon you, you embrace the pain of suffering. Okay, and this is exercise today. Well, see you tomorrow.